You can't go at...
Hold on.
Hamas is the bad guy. If you don't get that,
Hamas,
you don't get much. If Hamas had a nuclear weapon, how many seconds would it take before they used it on Israel?
I have no idea.
3.
I want to live here in the United States of America, the greatest freaking country in the world.
You're like a politician. You're avoiding the question.
No, I'm being as super honest as I can be.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
100% I'm being honest with you.
No. Because the question is, if you had to pick a city, and you're not answering that question, you're doing what politicians are doing and saying, I don't want to live in any of them. I want to live in America. That's not the question. The question is, if you had to pick, would you rather live in Tel Aviv? Because I promise you, you wouldn't last a week in the other places, and you could easily live in Tel Aviv. So if you don't think that speaks of a difference between cultures and civilizations, then okay, we'll leave it there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about Anna Kasparian getting absolutely cooked. This is Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks. She got smoked by Bill Maher today because people like her and Candace Owens and many others, including many people on the right even, have been going on these kind of weird woke apology tours supporting basically the terrorists, saying like, well, there's genocide in Gaza, so on and so forth, even though majority of that information sources from the Hamas terrorists, people who executed the October 7th terror attack against the Jewish state of Israel. These people release information, and dumb people like Anna Kasparian want to come out and defend, oh my gosh, they're killing children, even though literal Israeli Jewish kids were killed in the October 7th attack by Hamas, and Hamas had hostages, they were killing hostages, all kinds of stuff actively, but they were saying there should be a ceasefire even though Hamas hadn't surrendered. So basically the terrorists are going to attack again, and the terrorists are going to kill the hostages, but we should just give up. Hey, we're just going to stop doing what we're doing. It made absolutely no sense, and Bill Maher calls her out on a lot of her stupidity here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and react to this. By the way, guys, there's a new feature on YouTube where you can hype videos, so be sure to like the video, hype the video. It helps out a lot. Appreciate you.
That is legitimate. That's totally legitimate. But that's not what's happening.
Hamas hides in tunnels underneath hospitals. You can't go at...
Hold on.
Hamas is the bad guy. If you don't get that, you don't get much.
What Hamas did on October 7th was disgusting. Killing... I mean, I don't at all hold back on that. In fact,
well, that's the easiest thing in the world to say.
I mean,
nobody disagrees.
I agree. Nobody
disagrees.
There are people who disagree, actually.
Raping babe. Yes, there are.
There are people who think I'm wrong because Hamas, they're freedom fighters. What kind of freedom are we talking about here?
That people see Hamas, the people who hate oppression so much, are on the side of the people. And that's not just Hamas. If you social justice warriors, if you have any other issue besides gender apartheid in the world that is above that, you're just a joke. That, if you hate oppression, there is one issue which should be above all because it affects more people, hundreds of millions of women who have basically no freedom in the Muslim world.
Right. So we should slaughter them instead, which is what's been happening.
Well, you should prosecute a war to the end. That does involve slaughter of every war. You know.
I think. Listen, civilians get killed.
This is always a stupid argument. They act as though if you're executing a war and you're going after terrorists and civilians get killed in the process, that you're just slaughtering people. I mean, no. I mean, effectively, you're going to kill everybody who stands in your way between you and getting to the terrorists. So if that's your argument, sure. But does that mean that you're just slaughtering people indiscriminately? Also, no, because a lot of those people could get the hell out of the way, which a lot of them did. A lot of them literally left the nation. And then when the war was over, they came back. So if anybody chooses to just kind of stay in the way of the terrorists and allow themselves to basically be the freaking bullet shields for these radicals, I kind of feel like you did it to yourself. Might you say that maybe they're holding them hostage too? Like, well, if you try to leave, we'll kill you or something. I mean, who the heck knows? But at a certain point, you got to do what you got to do. It's either that or just allow the terrorists to just kill more Israelis and take more hostages. I mean, at some point, you got to make a choice. And Israel chose Israel. What else should they do?
In wars. I think everyone knows that. Everyone acknowledges that.
Especially when you hide behind them. Do you understand that there's very often in the world two very bad choices, and you only...
I mean, I'm an American. I have to vote in presidential elections. Yes, I do know that.
Okay, you don't have the good choice. You have the bad choice and the even worse choice. Israel has been being attacked by Hamas. First of all, the entire Arab world rejected them for 75 years. They kept trying to make a deal. They kept saying, no, we want it all. That's what from the river to the sea means. It means we want it all. We don't want to compromise. They've never wanted to compromise.
It doesn't just mean that, and I think Bill's probably going to get to this. They really want all of them dead. As a matter of fact, that was part of the Hamas charter, and many other countries have openly admitted that they don't even agree with any type of Jewish state.
Israel gave Gaza back.
But did
Gave
Bill,
it back.
But Bill,
In
let's say our country was occupied by Mexico, right? We have a bunch of people who are occupying our land, and then they decide,
Well, it's
you know
not
what, we're going to
your
leave. Hold on,
land,
let me
and they
finish.
weren't occupying
Let me
it.
finish. Let's say Mexico decides, you know what, we're going to leave, but we're going to control their electricity, what goes in, what comes out.
Because they were attacking
We're going to
them.
mow the lawn and just like randomly decide we're going to slaughter people because they allegedly threw rocks. They have literally nuclear.
Well, they didn't allegedly.
I mean, Israel has nuclear weapons, Bill. They have nuclear weapons.
And they don't. And
They
that's
have the world's
right.
military superpower backing them.
Right. Well, they have nuclear weapons which they don't use. If
Facts.
Hamas
No, they don't use it. But
just
to pretend
if
like
if Hamas had a nuclear weapon, how many seconds would it take before they used it on Israel?
Like
I
less
have no
than
idea.
Zero. No.
Three's the answer.
Zero. They would execute immediately. That's what people don't get. We live in this weird society where we're like super merciful and caring and all of it, just basically just trying to act like freaking babies towards everybody, be everybody's nanny for the world. But the vast majority of places, especially in these heavy Muslim countries, not like all of them like India, but y'all know which ones I'm talking, like Middle Eastern types countries, places with Stan at the end of their name. Those places, oh yeah, they would absolutely eradicate the world and they would have only Islam left, and it would only be Sharia people who abided by Sharia law. So the specific brand of Islam, not even all Islam. They would probably take out India too. They'd be like, we're not down with this peaceful Islam. We want destruction.
3 seconds.
How do you know that, Bill? Come on.
Because it's in their charter.
If they used a nuclear weapon against Israel, I'm pretty sure the very land that Hamas cares about would be done for.
Okay,
They'd be done for.
then they would be martyrs, and that would be a good thing, because that's their death cult view of the world. It's a good thing when you die. That's why they strap suicide vests sometimes on children. The fact that you can't see the moral difference between these two sides always amazes me among people.
I actually don't see the moral difference when you have like Bezalel Smotrich.
I mean, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Anna Kasparian doesn't see the moral difference.
They could have turned Gaza into a state that was much more like, I don't know, Dubai or something, if they wanted to. They didn't. Hamas took over right away. They never had elections after that. You're
right about that. You're right about the elections,
They're
yes.
a terrorist mafia. Their own population is terrorized by them. They don't like them. All they did was import weapons from Iran, build tunnels, and use it to prosecute this war against Israel. They never used it. So, of course, Israel is going to be defensive. Their issue was they were not defensive enough, which is why October 7th happened.
So you're making good points. I'm going to concede to some of them, not all of them.
Okay.
But
No, I don't even know
Bill,
why you want to talk about this.
I know. I'll ask you one more question. We can
It's
move on.
frustrating because it just looks like you're looking for something
No, I
to
just
make a
want-
false equivalency.
This
But
is what
yeah,
I want.
Look,
I
I
want
get it.
Palestinians to live in their own territory. I want them to be able to govern themselves. I want Israelis to live in peace and safety.
Then
and
stop
we're
attacking
never
them.
Gonna,
Then
no, I'm
stop
going to attack
attacking
them as
them.
long as they're doing what they're currently
They're doing in retaliation for
It's not
being
retaliation.
attacked. Of course it is. They've been attacked. They were encircled. Lebanon. Why are they in Lebanon? Because Hezbollah was attacking from there.
Right, in response to what they're doing in Gaza, yes.
Well before that, they've had 4 wars there. If we were being attacked from Canada, I imagine we would want a little border between Maine and Canada.
True.
I don't think you
But while
really.
building that border, we wouldn't then
I don't know
take
where,
a little
I don't
bit
know
of
where on
southern
TikTok
Canada
you're
for
getting
ourselves.
this information.
No, it's not TikTok. I'm
but
very
it
well
is.
read on this.
But if you had to live in the Middle East, so tomorrow, Anna, you got to go live in the Middle East, where would you live? You can pick one city, any city. You can, you know, as far away as, say, Pakistan. You could live in Karachi. You could live in Cairo. You could live in Amman, Jordan. You seem to love Lebanon. I mean, Beirut's nice when the bombing's not happening and the assassinations have stopped. Or you could live in Syria. I hear that's wonderful in the summer.
Well, we now have a
Al
Qaeda terrorist leading Syria.
Or the Houthis, I'm sure, would make room for you.
Yeah.
Tel Aviv, or the West Bank, Ramallah, I think is wonderful for like a little, in the fall, it gets lovely. Where would you live? What city would you live in?
Well,
Where do you think you'd be comfortable in that dress?
I'm sure it would not be comfortable in this dress in any of the various Middle Eastern countries that have been destabilized by
You're not really blaming it on Whitey.
Listen.
Are you? You're blaming Islam on Whitey?
I'm not blaming Islam on Whitey.
But what you're saying is we destabilized. That's why you can't wear that dress.
Did we not destabilize?
Wait a second.
We were funding terrorist organizations in Syria during the Syrian civil war, starting under the Obama administration.
That's why
did that not destabilize Syria?
No. What's destabilized?
There's a literal Al Qaeda terrorist.
We're talking about your dress.
Oh,
why?
It looks good. I know it looks
good.
You're
saying you can't wear that dress in Syria because of Whitey destabilizing?
I didn't say that.
Okay, that's
what it said.
Okay, great.
But the United States did destabilize various Middle Eastern countries. Are you going to deny that?
And I asked about the dress, and you went right to destabilize. So is that why you couldn't wear that dress? Why couldn't you wear that dress? Why couldn't you walk down?
You want me to talk about jihadism and Islam, but like...
Why won't you?
Listen...
Why won't you?
I mean,
Why?
I don't believe...
Checkmate.
Got him now. It's like, this is what you call got him. Because she doesn't want to admit that she's got. Ladies and gentlemen, it's real simple. You can't do it because these people are radicals. Anna Kasparian is such a woke lunatic. Now that she realizes that she's got, she doesn't even want to continue the conversation. She just starts talking about destabilization. And Bill says, oh, you're saying it's because of American or Whitey destabilization? No, I didn't say that. Well, why'd you lead with destabilization then? Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Guys, let me know what you think. Do you think that this is the fault of white people and modern civilization from Europe and from America and from Australia, which is effectively who Anna is blaming all the terror attacks and consistent destabilization of these regions, including where they are fighting and killing each other for dominance via terror, the same terror that they try to levy on other parts of the world? Do you think that it is the fault of the, literal terrorists, or is this the fault of white people somehow invoking the terroristic attacks upon themselves? Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you guys watching the Black Anomaly. Rising channel. I'm out. Big shout out to my members, Cybernoodle, 655, Bella Scott, and Carpentier John. Could not do it without you.
Have you noticed that now that Hamas has taken over again, they're, what?
Shooting everybody.
Shooting everybody. Where are the protesters? Suddenly, the keffiyeh wearing college kids are very
quiet. Can't be found anywhere.